Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
We have repeatedly seen how hard work and determination can lead to empire-sized businesses and enormous financial success. But it's rare when the founder of a company not only becomes a household name, but a pop culture icon. What started in a tiny kitchen in a tiny gas station in a tiny town not only grew to become an industry disruptor, but an industry leader with over 30,000 locations and over $31 billion in annual revenue. But this is not the story of an overnight success. It's the story of decades of hustling, ingenuity, and the unrelenting conviction in one's own beliefs. It's the story of one remarkable man, 11 herbs and spices, and the legendary words, finger lickin' good. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Kentucky Fried Chicken.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
Hey, I'm Jon.
Hey, I'm Marisa.
Okay.
This was not the brand I was expecting for the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Me neither. And I will tell you, this brand did come up when I was like searching for Christmas brands and holiday brands in a very unexpected way, and we'll get there. And obviously it's on brand for me. I mean, I'll answer that now. I'm from Ohio. It's Kentucky. It's fried food. It's great. It's got merch. It's everything. But what I couldn't believe researching this is like the meat. There's so much in this story. Like his life is so crazy.
I think meant like meat, like the chicken meat.
Oh, the breast man. I used to be a breast man, just like I used to be filet mignon. But those are dry meats. Now, I mean, give me a thigh, baby.
Oh, you like it juicy.
Now you're a vegetarian. So which parts of the chicken do you eat? I forget. Which ones do you?
You know what? I have not had KFC since dabbling in meat, but if I had to go to KFC, I would get. Did they still have the popcorn chicken?
So I think so.
That's what I would get.
Or the
I like the
tenders.
popcorn part of the chicken.
Yeah, because it's all breading. It's like
Yeah.
a tiny little speck of
That's what I want.
possibly lab-made meat.
I want a ball of cornflakes and a beak. That's it. A crunchy beak and maybe a toenail.
I can't believe they haven't made like it's all beaks yet. Like make money from the beaks and feet.
Well, you know my story about accidentally ordering 40 biscuits.
The story that I'll never believe, even though I think you were with someone and have since texted them and they confirmed it.
Yes, I wrote to my friend from high school. I said, is this true that in high school, I went up to the counter at KFC, and KFC is a place I have eaten at hundreds of times in my life. In my periods of being vegetarian, mashed potatoes, coleslaw biscuit. That for me, that's a meal. I'm a sides sweetie.
Absolutely. And those biscuits, when done right, I mean, it's 50-50. You don't know which, are you going to get a gummy or are you going to get a buttery?
That's true.
When they're buttery, man.
You know how you increase your odds? Do what I do.
So
I walked up to the counter I say 4 biscuits, please. The woman behind the counter hears 40 biscuits and proceeds to, did I pay for 40 biscuits? That cannot be.
This is where all the holes start to happen. One, she didn't question. She's like, I just want to confirm. You said 40 biscuits.
I mean, I was probably paying with like a rusty $5 bill if I like pulled out of my shoe. Do you remember keeping money in your shoe? Well, you always love a little pocket. When you're a kid, you like keep money in your shoe.
Well, I had roos. I had kangaroos that had a little pocket on the shoe. And I wore penny loafers and would keep a penny or nickel or dime in the shoe.
Honey, you can't get anything for a penny these days. Back in the day, you
Back
could.
then, I could get 2 Cokes and a sugar stick.
So I probably slid her a little sweaty $5 bill across the counter, and I don't know how it was paid for, but I received 40 biscuits. And turns out that's the right amount of biscuits. Because you really want to eat 5, I think. I think I could eat 5.
I could eat 2 tops.
Well, as your main.
Oh, as your main.
As your main.
3. I like to slice them and butter them heavily.
Yeah, same.
And
honey
for the last one, not for the mains.
Too decadent.
And it's not. I mean, listen, I have so many issues with KFC of today.
The honey's not honey. The butter's not butter. The biscuits aren't biscuits. We don't care. That's not what we're here. The mashed potatoes are sludge. They came out of a squeeze. We don't care. We don't care. The gravy is liquid. It's more liquid than water. We don't care. That's why we like it.
Yeah, I was going to say because the honey's not honey. It's honey sauce. It's like honey flavored sauce.
There's an asterisk. Contains no real honey.
Contains no honey.
Sure.
No bees were harmed or seen in the making of this product.
They should just call it vegan honey and then charge like $4 extra.
Oh my gosh, they should. Artisanal vegan honey. And I know someone else, this was my joke. I claim this.
Okay.
But I have since seen a comedian make this joke. Mm-hmm. But there was a time, and I'll have to ask my sister Elizabeth, because I don't know if we did it together or if she did it or I did it. But I was partly convinced that Colonel Sanders' bow tie were his arms and legs. So it looks like a stick figure with this giant head.
And with a giant head.
And
Why do we both have like mysterious lore around KFC that we need to corroborate with a third party?
Because he penetrated our lives.
He did.
This has been going on for he started tinkering around with chickens in 1930. So we're coming up on 100 years of this.
This is ancestral, generational, inherited knowledge. And for me growing up, I probably talked about this in the Blockbuster episode. Blockbuster in my hometown was next to a Boston Market. Iconic. For me, Boston Market is, I've had a long day at work, whatever my job was at the time, working at the mall. Yeah. It's Friday. I need to treat myself to a home cooked meal. I go to Boston. Home cooking. And there is nothing that has replaced it.
No.
We lost Boston Market.
I feel like it's one of those places, there's probably 2 left. There's one in like Louisiana.
Nobody was waiting in the wings to fill this void of like, what if you want like turkey gravy, like
that cornbread, that little cornbread log. And you know what is not Boston Market?
What?
The frozen Boston Market.
No,
not even. It's nothing close.
I mean, frozen Marie Callender's, maybe except the pot pie, is not Marie Callender's. Like it's just a completely different thing.
Those pot pies are pretty.
Those pot pies are pretty good, but everything else.
Because they do crust on the bottom. Not everybody does. The people that skimp on crust on the bottom, though KFC doesn't do crust on the bottom, their pot pie is also very good.
I've had dozens of those in my life. You're a double crust diva.
I am a double crust diva. Put it on a t-shirt. Let's sell the merch. Double crust diva. We should make an artistic drawing in my head in the vein of KFC.
That's a good idea.
Because I've got the hair. I'm basically turning into either Andy Warhol or the Colonel. By the way, spell Colonel.
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
COLONIEL.
Oh no.
Oh no.
COLONEL. I have researched this for several days. Every time I go to write Colonel, I'm like, how do you spell that word? Why is it Colonel? Where's the R? Why is it not Colonel?
English is wild. But my point of my Boston Market is that there was also KFC. So it was like, these are my options. Like rent a movie. I mean, everything was better before. We live in the worst time. Renting a movie or 2 from Blockbuster. The best hour of your life.
Yeah.
And then you pick, what am I feeling? Am I feeling KFC or Boston Market? Both of them, you will never be happier. Children today do not know the pleasure of that combo.
The person I have become would now find my favorite things at both, and I would just go to both. I would create the perfect meal.
What would your perfect meal be between Boston Market and KFC?
I don't know. I was actually just trying to picture that. I bet their gravy is better. I find KFC's gravy to be a little repulsive. I will get it, and I actually buy it separately because sometimes I will make
What? You just said it was like disgusting.
It is, but it's obtainable. Gravy's not the easiest thing to come by. So sometimes if I'm in the mood to make a chicken fried steak, I'll get a pint of gravy at KFC.
Wait, you'll go to KFC just for gravy?
Well, when I'm there, I'll also get coleslaw because I do love their coleslaw.
Coleslaw is great. Do you keep, when you are driving home from KFC, do you keep it in your cup holder and sneak a little sip at a red light?
I have like a boba straw, like a nice thick straw, so I can just nurse on gravy.
Boston Market mashed potatoes, I'm going to be mourning those for a long time. They're better than KFC. They're like real potatoes. I mean, we can't just talk about Boston Market all day. I'm going to cry.
I feel like they had like a carving station, and they would be like, would be like, we have a special like 1 month only stuffing with cranberries and walnuts in it. They would have wonderful limited edition
The kids'
items.
meal had green Jello, like cubed green Jello. It was just, everything about it was just so fun, so special.
Yeah, there used to be one at Toluca Lake.
sad.
That's the one I would hit up.
I'm so sad.
But this is
Okay,
not
I'll try
a show
to
on
morale-
Boston Market.
okay.
We gotta pump this out. Oh my God, my favorite thing about, I'm only going to call him Harland until he is a colonel.
Okay.
We can't obviously talk about KFC without talking about Harland Sanders. I mean, it is him.
It's him. He is
a
it.
lot of this show is him. His birthday, September 9th, 1890. The exact same day.
Same day you were born, same year.
Same year and everything.
Wow. You need to go as him for Halloween.
That would be great. To be fair, I have gone as the Gordon Fisherman. Very similar. That's an easy costume. If you're looking for a costume, you just need a yellow rain jacket and a box of fish.
Well, you'd be a really cute Colonel Sanders.
Maybe I'll
so
do
we'll
Colonel.
Do that.
Yeah. All right. So Harland Sanders, born in 1890. We'll just get it out there. Not hot. He's not a hot guy.
But that's okay. Not everyone has to be hot.
Not hot. We'll
fine.
post his picture, but iconic. He will become iconic. So he grows up on this little farm in Henryville, Indiana. And I put this quote down, and now I didn't like credit to him. So I don't know if this is a him quote or a quote about this town.
Okay.
But it just says, this was a small town. A man didn't bother to buy a suit until he needed it for his own wedding, and he didn't bother wearing it again until he needed it for his own casket. That's the kind of town we're in.
Love that.
Right?
Oh my God.
That one sentence gives you so much about where we're at.
When I hear something like that, I'm like, I should read a book. Because like something like that, a sentence like that will like stir me. I'm going to be like, wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about that, the poetry of that.
Yeah. It's like the opening line of a book that we should read.
Yeah.
And then we put it on the nightstand and I start TikToking and getting panicked about the fact that TikTok is apparently going away January 19th.
That will be good. That will be good overall.
I will cease to exist.
What did you do before? Like with your 2 hours in bed? What were you doing?
Wow. Different time. It was a different time. So in 1895, his father Wilbur closed his butcher shop early and stumbled home feeling sick with a fever. Oh. He would die a few days later.
Oh, God.
He leaves behind his wife and 3 children. Harlan at this point is only 5 years old.
John, this is sad.
Well, it gets sadder.
Oh, no. First Boston Market and now this? You're killing me.
So his mother, Margaret, she's a really strict Christian. She's constantly warning the children of the evils of alcohol and tobacco and gambling. And this is something that really sticks with Harlan his entire life. After his dad dies, his mother has to get a job. She works at like a tomato canning factory. She gets a job like going to people's home and doing sewing for them, which apparently at the time she would like sleep over. So sometimes she's like gone for a day or two. So Harlan at like 5, 6, 7 years old is the oldest of the children and starts taking care of the family.
You're allowed to do that?
Babe, it's 1890. Anything's on the table.
He's like has like curlers in his hair, wearing a robe, frying an egg for his siblings. Like what is happening?
That's like your daughter, like taking care of Robin and another child.
Imagine.
Very different time.
I'm getting very inspired by her. Let's just say I might dip out for a day or two.
You could duck out, read a book. This is really giving you all of your New Year's resolution goals.
Exactly.
So this is when he also starts developing his like enjoyment and technical abilities for cooking because he's making food for these kids.
It's crazy.
I know.
And also, like, you think, like, God, a kid who grew up like this, they must have really had a hard life, like, really gotten pretty screwed up by it. One of the most successful people of all time. So
Yeah.
I'm just hearing, like,
Though I don't
inspiration.
know that I mean, there's a lot on him and there's not a lot on him. I do think that he is, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, he's one of those people where the story has now been folded. It's
Sure.
been created by the company. I try not to pull any information from KFC.com, but even stories kind of regurgitate.
Sure.
Once something's out there, I don't know exactly what is true. I'm trying to pick the pieces that are. But yeah, he's a little folklore-y at this point. And I don't know that he was always very happy. I mean, but we'll go through
He's in Johnny Appleseed territory where we're kind of creating the man.
Yeah.
The legend.
He also walked around the country just dropping chicken legs. And wherever he dropped one, a chicken would grow. That's why we have so many chickens in the Midwest.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
So when he's 12 years old, his mom remarries, and she moves all the kids to Indianapolis to live with the guy. And the great thing about this guy, he hates kids.
Oh.
So, like, he's always yelling at them. He doesn't want the kids around. They do the slightest thing wrong, he slaps them.
Oh, my God.
Terrible. Terrible. So finally, Harland just has enough of this. And one night he packs up all his little meager belongings into a box. He sneaks through the kitchen, out the back door, and he sets out on his own. And he is 13 years old.
Oh, my God. This is wild.
Yeah. So he ends up getting a job on a farm in Greenwood, Indiana, and he's feeding animals and performing odd jobs. He's earning about $10 to $15 a month, which is around $375 to $563. But he's also getting room and board.
Okay.
So he's 13 years old, pulling in a decent income, probably more than I made when I first moved to LA.
Is he sleeping in like a pile of hay? Like what family like took it? This is just insane.
He's made a bed of live chickens. It all revolves around chickens.
Chickens.
Oh, that's like the water bed of the day. Just like
Ooh,
a
chickens?
sheet covering 12 ornery chickens.
You could do worse.
Was there anything worse than a waterbed? We don't have time to go into it, but nothing worse than a waterbed.
It's like the biggest gap between like what you think it would be and what it actually is.
It's like something I deeply
Sure.
wanted.
Yeah.
When I was in junior high school, I would stare at it in catalogs. And then I would go to the rich friend's house who had one, and you would get in it, and you're like,
David, my husband, he had a waterbed as a kid. For some reason, his like impoverished family like got him a waterbed secondhand from someone at the church.
That's what all impoverished families did. They saved up all their money to get their child a waterbed.
It was like, you guys like got like peanut butter for Christmas. Why did you get a waterbed when you were 10?
It's nonsense. All right, so 1906, Harlan is 16 years old, and he's working. And by the way, he works so many different jobs in this world.
Wow.
At 16, he's working as a streetcar conductor in New Albany, Indiana. And he hears these two men talking. They're in a conversation about the troubles going on in Cuba. And it turns out that they were Army recruiters. So by the time this trip ends, he's like, I'm going into the Army. I'm going to help solve this problem. He lies about his age because he's too young to join the Army. I think you have to be 18. He gets in. They dispatch him on a ship, send him to Cuba. He spends most of the trip on the way there throwing up because he's never done it. And when he gets there, he's there for a little bit. His commanding officer realizes
And they're like, you don't have pubes. You're 18. Who let you here?
This is why it's so great having a co-host. I never would have thought of that. I was trying to figure out how they knew he was 16.
Let's just say they could tell.
They did a hand check. I'm going to go in quick, feel for a forest.
I'm going to tug around. We got a few sprouts, but you're not 18.
So, yeah, they realize he's not 16. He gets I've seen that he was discharged. Some places he said he got an honorable discharge. I don't know why you would get an honorable discharge for lying about your age.
He's lived a lot of life. Let's take it easy on the kid.
And by 16, I still didn't even know how to drive yet. So that ends his short little military career. Okay, so at this point, he's had a few jobs under his belt. He left school, like his highest education was only 6th grade. So it doesn't qualify him for a ton of jobs. So literally over the next 20 to 30 years, he bounces around from jobs. He is at one point an ash doodler.
What?
He was at one point an ash doodler.
Weren't we all, honey?
Oh, babe. God, my days as an ash doodler. Ugh.
I doodled a lot of ash back in my day.
You did? You worked on a railroad?
Yep.
Okay. That I did not know. So he was an ash doodler for Southern Railroad, and that's scraping coal ash from steam engines.
Oh, my God.
But Sanders, he started to study what the railroad firemen were doing as they shoveled coal into the firebox, and it's all this, like, I don't know, science about how much to put in and, like...
Young people today, they're like, what inspires me? What do I feel like doing with my life? I can't find a job that, like, connects with my true being.
When I was your age, I was an ash doodler. Get out! By 18, Sanders is filling in for the firemen when he's needed. He developed, and this is the thing that's, I don't know if I hit it enough, but this is where he develops a real penchant. Is that the right word?
Penchant?
For profanity. This guy, like, he had a potty mouth. This guy just always throwing out, and that's a lifelong thing, a lifelong struggle. Really? He hates it. There's times where he, like, goes to church to try to, like, stop cussing, but this is, like, a defining character of him. I may not talk about it enough.
He can't control it?
No. And back then, it's like you call someone a bastard, and it's like that starts a gunfight. It's like, so it's not
Maybe
like...
he had Tourette's.
He's not like my wet-ass...
I'll bleep that.
I was like, God, we made it half an hour without anything I got to bleep. But yeah, so he's just cussing all the time.
Oh my God, how funny. He seems like a Baptist minister. He like seems so buttoned up and
Well, it's funny you say that because at this time, he also starts wearing, while he's an ash doodler, wearing white overalls and white cotton gloves. And he would claim that he could go to work and come home spotless, even working in this very dirty field.
How?
I mean,
I'm like up for 10 minutes and I'm covered in like avocado, peanut butter.
I know. I wore a brand new shirt here yesterday. Within a half hour, I looked down, there's a stain. I was like, I haven't even eaten anything. Like, this is literally a brand new shirt.
My biggest struggle is sip of coffee, missing my mouth entirely. That's really been a struggle.
It's around this time that he meets Josephine King. They would have a brief courtship and then marry. And Josephine did not have any interest in having kids, so they ended up having 3, because that's what you do back then. They had 2 daughters, Margaret and Mildred, and then Harland Sanders Jr., born April 23rd, 1912. 9 days after the sinking of Titanic.
Wow.
9 days. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
He would work on various railroads for years, and then he gets in a big fight, and that ended his career. A lot of his jobs end because he's cussing at someone and gets in a big fight.
This feels like an easily remediable problem.
I love that I'm out of breath with his life story already, and the next sentence is, at 21... He begins a law correspondence course through LaSalle Extension University and eventually gets a job working in the Justice of the Peace Court. He's really into, and you don't see a lot about this, apparently he gives a lot of money to people in need. He was very
philanthropic.
Yeah, which is great. So when he gets this job in the Justice of the Peace, he's all about trying to bring justice for the poor people of the region. He was proud that he was able to negotiate better settlements for the mostly black victims of a train wreck, but his career in the court ends after he gets in a brawl in court with a client over unpaid legal fees. So again, another fight.
Oh, the brawls.
And I don't know if this is just part now, like someone has made this the legend. But
really weird. I mean, he did have a very traumatic childhood, so it could come out in weird ways.
And I like, when you're in a bad mood, you're easily like.
I mean, you with your road rage.
It's bad.
But you have the same birthday. You'd be brawling left and right if you were around in his time.
I wonder if I could claim any, like, maybe I'm an heir.
Because you're born on the same day?
Look at me. Just look at me. He got involved in like an indoor lighting system that he thought would be a big deal. He ended up losing almost all of his money in that. God. But then he makes a ton of money when he realizes that there is a need for a steamboat ferry crossing in Jefferson, Indiana. It's just like a hodgepodge of things. He was just this jack of all trades, but none of them brought him huge success. And he's like getting older, and it looks like that probably is not going to change.
Wow.
And we know that probably won't change, right? I don't think anything good's coming.
We're on like episode 3 of the 9-part Netflix series.
For sure. And I'm like, you guys, we can tell this story in 4. And they're like, nope, 9.
9.
Not 10, 9. Get out of here. Late 1920s, the Sanders family was living in Camp Nelson, Kentucky, and Harland supported his family as a salesman for the Michelin Tire Company, and this allowed him to have a very nice car.
Wow.
And then one day, he has a nice car and an old car, and apparently he tried to tow the old car with his son, with the nice one, and they were going over a bridge that was designed for horses.
Oh.
That's where we are at this time period. This bridge was made for horses.
Oh, God.
And they're taking 2 cars over it. The bridge collapsed. Both cars are destroyed. Harland loses his job because he had to have the car for the job.
Wow.
So he loses that. Luckily, both him and his son came out unscathed. So he loses that job, and he starts managing this little gas station, service station in Corbin, Kentucky. There's a little apartment in the back that the family can live in. There's no electricity yet, and it's a rough area. This little part of town is called Hell's Half Acre, and it's named that primarily because the exports apparently are bootleg booze, bullets, and bodies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, in this town, there's other communities that are really cut off from probably government offerings or anything that mainstream people are using. So Sanders would ride a mule up the nearby mountain with food and medical supplies for the nearby Appalachian community, which also didn't have electricity, really have roads, indoor plumbing, or any other modern conveniences. And he would take them food. He would take the whole community a full Thanksgiving dinner. He was all about feeding them and just making sure that they were comfortable. Because he had 3 children, he also became the go-to guy when one of those women would get pregnant to help them deliver their baby.
Why?
So, because
based on what?
I guess he helped his own wife give birth, so he becomes this known as the town midwife. Career number 18.
Oh my God.
Then an awful thing happens in 1932.
No.
Yeah. Harland Jr. has to have a tonsillectomy, which, even at that time is considered a relatively easy procedure. But he ends up getting blood poisoning and dies at
terrible.
20 years old.
That's
so,
terrible.
I mean, you lose your dad when you're 5. You lose your only son when he's 20. These are not easy. You got your stepdad hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went through a lot. All right, so it's 1935, 1936. I saw different dates. Recognizing Sanders for his midwife work, his food donations, because he hates alcohol, he is regularly shuttling people to Alcoholics Anonymous, which he calls it that in his book. I think it probably was just I'm sure it was not that established then, but a group of people trying not to drink.
Mm-hmm. Maybe at a church or something. Where are his kids? I mean, he's just his life, he is on the go. He's a gal on the go.
He's a gal on the go. The Kentucky governor, Ruby Laffoon, commissioned Harland Sanders as a Kentucky colonel, the highest title of honor bestowed by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The funny thing is, Harland didn't really embrace that. It's cool. It was another thing that he has, but whatever.
Is it getting a key to the city where it doesn't actually let you open every door in town?
They don't.
It should. A big giant key.
That big giant key. My door, I don't know about your door lock, but my door lock has a very large keyhole.
You know what it should do? It should open every locked bathroom at every restaurant or establishment.
Yeah, even the ones that have a push code.
Yep.
You know what it should be?
What?
Chocolate wrapped in foil.
Ooh, that's a good idea too.
White chocolate.
It certainly shouldn't just be symbolic.
No, it shouldn't just be something that goes in the storage unit. I feel like I have to mention that it's a rock star now because everyone is obsessed with the rock. He said it! Oh my God, something in the storage unit.
When we do live shows, that'll be a real big pop in the audience when we say storage unit.
We should have a set that makes it look like we're live from the unit.
That would be really good. It's like NPR's Tiny Desk concerts. It's about us in the storage unit.
Oh my God, we should. If we do interviews, that would, when we're really big. All right.
Great.
So there's another quote I came across that said, "The only thing Colonel Sanders liked more than cussing was cooking." So these are two.
Who is cussing is a tent pole of their personality.
And who's saying this?
So
this
weird.
Is just you're walking down a street in a small town and a guy's leaning on a lamppost. Hey, you going to go see the colonel? You know what they say about him.
That is so weird.
So he turns the storeroom of the gas station into a place to eat, and he calls it Sanders Service Station and Cafe.
F***ity chicken shop. Sucking motherfucker bitch shit.
One just heard was beep, 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 beep.
He's like, man, I really got to stop cussing. Shit, God. Just stop.
2 orders of wet-ass please. Beep, 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 beep. Sorry, Al. Now we sound like Morse code. What if that would be a fun Easter egg. They're calling for help. So at his cafe, they're serving steaks, country ham, potatoes, red-eyed gravy, grits, okra hot biscuits. You know what they're not really serving often?
What?
Chicken.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
Why?
Takes too long to cook.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
does it? No.
I don't know. That's the story.
Wait, not more than like biscuits.
Not more than anything.
Yeah.
Country ham.
Ham tastes like, doesn't ham take like 9 hours to cook?
I don't know. That's just what the article
This is the
said.
lore.
But he's
Respect the lore.
constantly, because this is how lures are made. Of course, they're like, but he's constantly experimenting with chicken.
We've heard that before, honey.
Yeah. You know who?
Burpee.
That guy was a real chicken f***er.
Beep.
Don't beat that. Because he was a chicken f***er. All right, so his reputation starts to grow with the success of his restaurant. He adds a small luxury motel to the property. There's like postcards of it. It looks very nice.
Oh, nice.
It's 1937.
Okay.
And guess who does a very positive review on him?
Who?
Duncan Hines in his
Okay.
restaurant book, who we've talked about in the second Battle of the Brands. I
Yes.
represented the awful Mr. Duncan Hines. So please go, if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. Then he meets someone very important.
Okay.
Bertha.
Oh.
Who's Bertha? That's the nickname for his first pressure cooker.
Oh.
This is a new contraption. It's supposed to be for cooking vegetables. It uses a very high temperature and pressures. And he sees this thing and he's, you know what? I feel like I could tweak that to make chicken faster.
Chicken is, I think, like one of the fastest things. Doesn't a chicken breast like 4 minutes on each side? Like, what are we doing? If you deep fry it, isn't it like literally 30 seconds? It's like why it's every fast food is fried chicken. What are we talking about here? Did they have fryers? Like, what is the problem? He's a smart man. He's made it this far.
He wants to turn this into a fryer, a pressure cooking fryer.
Okay.
So he tweaks it. He makes it safe for frying.
Okay.
Spends years experimenting with various marinades, oils, flours, and 10 herbs and spices.
Okay.
By July 1940, he's gotten the cooking time to chicken down to 8 minutes.
Pretty standard, maybe on the long side. Let's just say, when I'm in line at Chick-fil-A, that chicken sandwich comes out pretty fast. And that's just in hot oil. There's not a row of pressure cookers back there at Popeyes. What is happening?
8 minutes seems so long.
So, in a pressure cooker, that means he thinks normally not in a pressure cooker it would have taken 45 minutes.
Maybe
what
he's making turkeys.
is happening?
He adds an 11th ingredient, and the chicken is perfect.
What was it?
I don't know.
Paprika.
It's a trade secret.
Paprika.
You know the difference between a trade secret? I did learn this researching this episode. He did not copyright the 11 herbs and spices because copyrights have expiration dates. They're only good, or trademark, one of those two.
Okay.
They have a finite amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a trade secret... Oh, and because if you have copyright, you have to release it to the public.
Oh, okay.
You have to show them what it is. But if you have a trade secret, you don't, and there's no expiration date on it. So you can have a trade. That's why they're like, you always hear about everyone's recipes like being in a vault in like the headquarters or whatever. Or it's like cut in half and no one person knows the whole thing. Apparently this is how these spices were too. McCormick would make half of them, but they only had half of it and another place had like half.
Oh
So
my, I love that.
nobody can have it all.
Wow. I do think like the person who has like the one half at McCormick and the person who has the other half at the other spice place, like they meet and fall in love.
I would love that. You know what be, I picture like I'm one of the people that has one of the halves, but my half is the boring half. It's like salt, baking soda, cake flour, and then the other one has like the other really cool 8 ingredients.
Really cool ingredients like
Pop rocks.
oregano, dill. Like how cool is it going to be? They're all like garlic.
It could be thyme.
It could be thyme.
It could be sage.
Sure.
Better than salt.
You get your secret. You're like,
Ooh. I wait till the perfect time to open it. It's a year later because I've forgotten about it, like my Christmas cards. I'm like, oh, right, the secret recipe.
Yeah.
Salt.
Oh,
Cooks in 12 minutes.
this can't
Curdle.
be. This
All
can't
right.
be.
So he's ready to go with his chicken. And then what happens? What happens in every episode? We talk about the goddamn war.
Oh,
the
come
war
on.
comes. He's
Come on.
too old to fight in the war, but he does go to Tennessee and he works in a kitchen serving people food for the war. He did not know what the people he was serving did. Turns out they were scientists and engineers building the atomic bomb.
Oh, okay. But they were well fed.
But they had really nice meals.
They're like, we ordered chicken. Why is it taking 40 minutes? We've been waiting for a really long time.
I could have had 2 bombs built by now. Colonel! Okay, so in 1952, he divorces Josephine. I didn't go into it. Years earlier, he had met Claudia. She was a known mistress by everybody.
Oh,
She worked in his kitchen. He now marries her.
Okay.
So
she's a hoe.
She's a hoe, a chickie hoe. For the second time, the governor of Kentucky recommissions him as a Kentucky colonel in the honor of his cuisine. And this time, he fully embraces this. This is when he takes it on as his name. He starts introducing himself as Colonel Sanders. He grows a salt and pepper goatee. He starts wearing a black suit.
Oh, okay.
Not there yet. And a Kentucky-style string tie or arms and legs. And he tries to give up profanity. He fails, but he tries. All right. He's 62 years old now, so he's like already lived a life.
Crazy.
He attends a restaurant convention in Chicago where he meets Pete Harmon, and they hit it off. They bond over their disdain for alcohol.
Okay.
Pete owns a restaurant called the Dewdrop Inn in Salt Lake City, and the colonel has had kind of in the back of his mind this dream of franchising, which is not a super common practice at that time. He does not see himself opening a bunch of restaurants. He knows that his chicken is gold. So what he would like to do is just get other people to sell his specific chicken at their restaurants, and then he would get what he wanted was a nickel a bird.
I mean, that's like the deal the sharks are always trying to get.
Of course.
The investors make. They're like, don't sell your own, sell the patents, sell the licensing.
Yeah.
All the money's in licensing, and it's like no sweat off your back.
Yeah, you don't have to do all the hard work. It's
great.
perfect.
I think it's a great idea. I think Lori is really excited to sign on.
Let's do it. Lori, she gives you the little thing. All right, so after the convention, he goes and visits Pete at his restaurant, and he whips up a batch of his chicken and gravy. And I forgot to mention his gravy, apparently, it was called cracklin' gravy that he made with bits of breading left in the oil after frying. And it is rumored to have been among the finest things one can put in one's mouth.
It sounds really good.
I bet. I mean, Southern gravy back then, I mean, that's why, like, whatever the hell they're serving now, that brown goo.
There's certainly no crackling bits of bread in that.
No, man.
It's smoother than Harlan's mound when he tried to join the army. That gravy is silky. There is nothing in it.
That was a tagline they played with for a while. Smoother than Harlan's mound.
When he tried to join the army and lied about his age. Now, if you order, next time you go to KFC, when you're making chicken fried steak, just say, "Can I get a large Harlan's mound?" And they'll know what you mean.
I think I'm going to take 2 small gravies. Can I have those Harlan Mound style? Oh, extra smooth? Yeah, of course. All right, so he makes him this chicken. Pete loves it, but he's like, you know what? Apparently, fried chicken was not a popular dish in this area at this time, so they weren't totally sold on it. He's like, let me think about it. Colonel's like, of course. He comes back 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, he gets to the Dewdrop Inn, and there is a massive sign outside that says, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Something new, something different.
Whoa.
Keep in mind, Harlan has never heard the phrase Kentucky Fried Chicken at this point.
Who made that up?
The guy who painted the sign. He's like, what are we going to call it? And he's like,
my God.
Just the guy that painted the sign.
I hope he is a millionaire many times over.
Harlan cussed him out and killed him.
I mean, he's just like a kid with like a bucket and a brush. And he's like, well, I have to write something. And they're like,
I don't know.
put?
Some guy from Kentucky brought it. Great. Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's fried. Perfect. I mean.
I hope you're pulled over. Otherwise, your whole family is perished.
We just lost 3 freaks.
10-car pileup.
Every time we do a show, we lose freaks
God.
with these massive revelations.
Huge. That's huge.
So apparently Sneaky Pete had figured out the recipe watching the Colonel cook for him and written it down after he left.
Sneaky Pete. I'd never trust anybody named Sneaky Pete.
I don't even know. It just said Sneaky Pete. I don't know if the writer gave him that name or if the Colonel gave him that name, but he is now officially Sneaky Pete. Sanders was obviously taken back, but for some reason, he wasn't that mad. He was kind of happy. This is what he wanted in the first place.
He's not cussing now. He's like not brawling now. So quick to brawl.
I picture him brawling for a minute, but then he's like, you know what? So the two men come up with a franchising agreement. Sanders is like, listen, I love the name. Part of this deal is I'm keeping that name.
Great.
You pay me a nickel a bird. You can have the recipe. And his franchising starts.
Wow. Very fast and loose with this recipe back in the day.
Well, they made it seem like he didn't give the guy the recipe, but they went shopping. I mean, this is like they literally had to go to the store and he had to buy the ingredients. So this guy just watches
Colonel Sanders pushing a little shopping cart in a little grocery store, like pulling like sage off the shelf and putting into a basket.
When you're there. And then when I look, he's like getting salt. And I'm like, what? Okay, so it's just salt.
These are both dynamite scenes in the TV series or movie, you know, Oscar buzz. But the sign painting, walking up and seeing the sign painted and then pushing the little cart in the store, dynamite.
Will you indulge me with casting?
Sure.
Obviously, Matt Damon is Sneaky Pete.
Sure, yes.
Obviously, Timothy Chalamet is the sign painter.
Yes.
And clearly, I am Colonel Sanders. I want this to be the movie where it says, introducing John Glover as.
You're on your way to an EGOT.
Oh, my God. There'll be chicken at my Oscar party.
I love that.
Not KFC. So, yeah, they go into this partnership. The chicken is a huge hit. Pete would go on not only to open several additional locations, but what else does Sneaky Pete create? The bucket.
I can't believe it.
The bucket.
I can't believe
What
it.
did the Colonel do? I mean, he did make the chicken. He made
like,
chicken that takes a long time to cook.
I feel like he had, of all the work that he did in his life, he had the least involvement in the thing that made him the most successful. He like came up with the weirdest way to make chicken that takes the longest and seems like the hardest and most complicated. A measly sign painter came up with the name, and this other guy came up with the bucket.
Yeah.
So like, who cares?
Yeah. Well,
that being said, I still love him and I respect him all my life. But the bucket and the name are like the two most iconic things.
Well, are they? Because there's one more piece of this puzzle that is also quite iconic.
What?
So I'm jumping ahead a paragraph just because we've gotten to it, and then maybe I'll bounce back. So in the 1950s, like local TV stations are making their own commercials, right? Mm-hmm. So they make them, they're shown locally, whatever. So in Phoenix, Arizona, they were shooting a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. And in the commercial, you've got two men in it, the guy who's doing the copy and reading the things, and then there was a guy in the background eating chicken. The commercial airs, a woman calls into the station in a tizzy.
Was it you? This feels like something you would do.
Probably. I mean, past life, I believe in it. She is mad. Why is she mad? She's like, why the hell is that guy in the background licking his fingers on TV? The guy who does the copy, without even thinking, is like, because the chicken's finger licking good. I have goosebumps. Everyone in that studio got goosebumps at that moment.
I could cry. This is just so
in the scheme
incredible.
Of life, within minutes, that phrase is now, it's embraced by the company. It's on every bucket. It's everywhere.
It's just things like that have permeated like every cell in your brain. Like on my deathbed, I'll know finger licking good. Like I won't remember like my children's name, but I'll know finger licking good. I will. Smooth Mound. I will.
Smooth Mound. Finger licking good.
It's just like, it's in there forever. It is such a part of the culture. And it was just a little throwaway line, you know, who knows who answered the phone when that woman called. It's finger licking good.
It became one of the most well-known slogans of any company, or at least fast food company, that century. I mean, it's like, where's the beef? And I don't even think Where's the Beef lasted that long. Where's the Beef is it was huge in a very 80s moment.
Yeah, it's very 80s. Finger licking good, like, is in my bones in a way that Where's the Beef isn't.
It sums it, like, I meant it in the thing, like, it sums up so much. It says those three words, that's what makes great branding. This is why I love what we do. Yes. I love companies, and I'm sure KFC is going to go on to do terrible things, but I love this part of it.
And the way that just even, like, creativity-wise, when something is so undeniably excellent, like something like that, like the name Kentucky Fried Chicken or the bucket or the slogan, it's undeniably excellent. Like everybody will agree that the moment they hear it, they're like, that is perfect.
Yeah.
I believe in angels, and the angels are with this brand.
Cue the angel music. We have a moment of silence.
They're walking alongside Colonel Sanders as he does nothing but they're walking alongside.
Instead of ringing bells, they're just shaking chicken legs. Ding. So, of
Unreal.
course, the company manages to muck it up. They used Finger Lickin' Good for decades. In 2011, some
John.
face is like, you know what? I feel like let's lose it. I think we need a new slogan that's more holistic, something that doesn't just to talk about the food, something that's about the staff and the service. I'm going to change Finger Lickin' Good to So Good. So good.
I need a minute. This
Could
is
that
terrible.
be more generic?
Terrible.
It only lasts for 4 years. They realize that they're idiots. They change it back to Finger Lickin' Good until 2020 when COVID hit and licking fingers didn't seem appropriate. So they shut her down again. I did look on the website
Is it
yesterday
back?
and it's back.
Okay,
So
thank God.
thank God. What a
Okay,
journey.
a brief hazinga, but we're back. I
Yeah.
mean, something like that. You get one of those in a lifetime. Like, you are not going to get another slogan. How greedy that you think that you're going to come up with another slogan that good. It's like we've talked about the brands that will redo their logo and then the new logo is like terrible. It's like you had a great logo. Just stick with it.
Yeah.
You had one perfect thing. You don't get two perfect things.
I agree. Yeah.
Finger Lickin' Good is perfect.
It is perfection. All right. It's 1956. Colonel Sanders is now 66 years old. And believe it or not, he's still struggling. I mean, he's on Social Security, which is only bringing in about $100 a month. And he's getting a few dollars from Sneaky Pete and a couple of franchises that he's done.
You know, Sneaky Pete might be taking a little off the top.
Oh, Sneaky Pete ends up being Sneaky Pete in a little bit. They have put a new freeway into his town, so now his restaurant's like 7 miles off the beaten path, so people aren't going by it. It's just, it's a hard time for him. And he's
This
like,
is sad.
if I'm going to make this work, it's now or never.
And he's old.
He's 66.
This is very inspiring.
For all of our listeners that are in their 60s, we don't really consider that old.
No,
I mean,
we
we're
don't.
all-
But to beginning
but
to
to
be
start
like
a career.
to start a career, to like be on the brink of the thing that's going to make you very successful.
Yeah.
That's huge. We love stories like
he's
this.
like Betty White. It's like every picture I saw of Betty White, she looked like she was 84 years old, like since the 60s.
The white hair certainly helps. Blonde, sorry, blonde.
Thank you, blonde hair.
Blonde.
So he gets out there and hustles. He gets his wife. They go on the road. They literally just travel the country looking for restaurants that might want to sell his chicken.
Wow.
If they find a restaurant, they have to go in and say, hey, I make this chicken. Can I make you some? They have to agree. He has to make the 15-minute chicken. They eat
Wow.
it. They have to say they'll give it to the customers. If the customers like it, he says, hey, will you franchise? I mean, he is hustling. While he's doing this, they're sleeping in their car at night. It is like a period of like all or nothing.
Wow.
And he makes it work. By the time he's done, and at this point, he has now kind of become the colonel that we all know and love. He's got his silver goatee, of course, his tie. He's got a cane, and he's wearing a crisp white suit. He's like the man that we know, the legend that he will become.
He looks so dapper, and then meanwhile he's like sleeping on like his pillow is a pile of chickens.
Oh my God, how cute would that be to just be walking down the street and look in a car and you see like the
Colonel's-
colonel like curled up like
In the back seat of his like
with like
Chevy.
he fell asleep half eating a chicken leg. Oh, that'd be so cute.
That'd be really cute.
But he's hustling and it pays off. Like I don't know how long he spent doing this, but by the time he's done, he has hundreds of franchises. He gets so big that he no longer has to go out to sign franchises up. He has them come to his now grand estate in Kentucky.
Yes. Get your estate, girl.
Girl, you got your estate. One of the franchises that signs up with him is called the Hobby House in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the colonel befriends the head cook there, who also has dreams of having a restaurant of his own. And Sanders mentors him and gives him advice. And the guy ends up getting his own franchise and managing several Kentucky Fried Chickens before he starts his own restaurant. His name? Dave Thomas. The founder of Wendy's.
Wow.
Best friends with Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
Mentored by Colonel Sanders. Created Wendy's.
I have no words. This is huge.
I mean, this story, it's like Forrest Gump. It's like Sarah, Joseph Hale.
They should teach this in school. Like, this is
Why
stuff
am I
that
learning
really sticks with you.
algebra? I need to know about Sneaky Pete and Smooth Mounds. I'm here for Smooth Mounds 101. Yes, I'm smooth. Okay, so he's now spent like his whole life basically getting to this point of success. This is everything he dreamed of. Probably, I mean, you're born in 1890. I don't think you imagine that you're going to have a state in Kentucky, a chicken empire in America. So, of course, with this success comes vultures, basically, people that want to be a part of that, people that want to take that. So he's got this guy, John Y. Brown, this 29-year-old jerk. He's like a lawyer. And Jack Macy, I mean, maybe they're nice. Maybe I don't think they were well-intended, though. And they basically are like, look, you've developed this wonderful product in Kentucky Fried Chicken and you've worked hard doing it, but now it's time for you to relax. Like, sell it to us. Like, we want to take over it. Let us do it.
They're doing him a favor.
We're doing you a favor, old man. You just enjoy the fruits of your labor. And the Colonel, I mean, he's a hustler. He's a hard worker. Like, he's going to work till he's in the grave.
Yeah, I don't see him, like, laying by the pool.
No, so he doesn't want to do it. But he is, at this point, 74 years old. He is not, I mean, it is probably a little bit enticing. And they finally do wear him down under the promise that integrity won't change, quality won't change, the crackling gravy's going to be crackling forever.
Let's just say the crackling has ceased.
Yeah, so they convince him to sell Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's going to get $2 million. He's like, maybe I should take some stock in it. He gets like a couple regions, like he gets Canada because he wanted Canada for some reason. They're like, you know what? Stock doesn't make sense. Let's give you a salary. We'll give you $40,000 a year. He's like, okay.
God.
So he gets $2 million and $40,000 a year. He's going to be the quality controller. He's going to be the goodwill ambassador. He's basically, instead of being the decision maker for the company, he's going to be the spokesperson for the company. Almost immediately, everything starts to change. The company starts buying all the existing franchises. The ones that they don't buy, they order them to conform to what is now being this KFC branding that is being created. They have to remove, and remember, a lot of these places, they're selling chicken in their own restaurant. They now have to turn those restaurants into Kentucky Fried Chickens. They can't sell their own menu items. It has to be.
So if you had a little mom and pop's roadside inn that sold Kentucky Fried Chicken, you have to now become a KFC.
Well, KFC's Hazinga 1991, but yes, a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
You have to become a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have to update all the decor because if you've seen the pictures of KFC back in the day, that's still kind of similar, but not, but it's all red and white.
Yeah.
I mean, they're branding. That's what these people do. They're creating a brand, which makes sense, but it's just, you know, they have the signing. They do really believe that the Colonel's face is a very important part of this brand.
I do agree with that.
So they're using that. They now have to pay a licensing fee instead of paying like a nickel per bird, which the Colonel doesn't like. He liked it how it was set up, but he doesn't really have any say in it.
Wow.
And one of the biggest changes they made is any of them that were like kind of a sit-down diner, that's out the door. Now it's like a come-and-go stand. It takes less employees. It's cheaper to run. It's smaller footprint, and you just grab your bucket of chicken and go.
That is crazy.
They quickly have retail outlets in all 50 states. They branch out into several different countries. It is an aggressive strategy, but it is very successful financially.
I'm sure, but I can just taste the quality going down.
Oh my God, yeah.
Beyond.
They start creating a ton of millionaires, and they really believe that Sanders is so important to it. They have him out hustling. They get him on like the Johnny Carson show and the Lawrence Welk show. He's going to like do interviews. Like he just becomes kind of like this prop of what this company is.
And he can shill the Kentucky Fried Chicken that is so far removed from his original vision and recipes.
It's not. The food hasn't changed yet, but it's very close to being on its way to changing.
Poor Colonel.
So it's the early 1970s. Kentucky Fried Chicken now has, and this is like 10 years later. It's up to 3,500 franchisees.
Oh my God.
It's acquired by Hublin Incorporated, a company best known for distributing vodka. One of the things that he's most against in his life. So now like they sell KFC for $285 million. I mean, he got $2 million 10 years ago. He doesn't have any stock.
That is crazy that he didn't get like a little crumb.
This is what I never understand about moments like this. Like these people that come in and do this, why? Like do it, but give him a slice too. Like there's enough to go around.
You could give him 5%. You wouldn't even feel it, and it would set him up for the rest of it. I understand he's old, but I mean, he still has a life left, and he might want to give stuff down to his kids. That is, these guys are not nice.
They're sneaky Pete.
They are sneaky Pete's.
Pete. And apparently, the reason I said sneaky Pete is because apparently Pete was part of the group that Jack Massey was in, that came in to do this, and I believe was part of all of it.
Sneaky Pete is a weasel. I never trusted him.
Yeah. So it's just multiple slaps in Colonel's face. So then, of course, what you just said a second ago, the company comes in, they talk to the cooks and chemists, and they're given orders to make the secret recipe cheaper. They start using fewer and less expensive ingredients. They're saving millions of dollars.
There must have been real honey prior to this.
Oh, for sure there was real honey. The crackling gravy was particularly demanding. They said you had to be like a scientist to create it. So they switched to a powdered alternative. Quality control just goes out the window. Harlan's not even told about any of these things, like when these decisions are being made. And he's just, it's on its way to becoming the KFC that we know. What makes me sad when I was researching this is I realized I never had the KFC that existed.
I was just thinking that. Don't you wish, if you could use a time machine to do anything?
Oh my God, I can't believe you're just about to say this. I literally, 10 minutes ago, was going to say, if I had one wish in the world, it would be that I could go back to when each thing was at its
Try the original McDonald's burger
Yes.
and the original Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes.
That crackling gravy. Oh, man.
That would be my one wish. Santa?
That'd be your one use of your time machine.
Cure cancer? No. Eat a real Big Mac.
Stop the sinking of the Titanic.
No.
No.
It's made too many great jokes for us. Yeah, I would love to taste
Oh
that
my
crackling
God.
gravy alone.
Is there anybody alive who had it? Yeah, there is. Pre-1970. We need to interview somebody. I wonder if my mom has. I'll have to ask around.
Yeah, if any of our freaks have had the original crackling gravy and KFC, we'd love to know.
Smooth Mound.
Babe. So, and Harlan at this point is like, I don't want my image on these things. They're like, too bad. We own it. Like, that was part of the deal. So this is when he decides he wants to restore his reputation. He opens a sit-down restaurant called Colonel Sanders Dinner House. They try to sue him, saying that they own rights to his name. He's like, fine, I'll call it the Colonel's Ladies Dinner House. They're like, no, we own the word Colonel. And he's like, they go back and forth. He tries to sue them for $122 million. They try to countersue him. They settle out of court. They end up calling it Claudia Sanders Dinner House, which still exists today. And this is what I was saying about that Thomas Edison thing. I was like, wait, there's another Sanders house? How is that possible? And I looked up, it has a website. I could go there when I'm home for Christmas. I could go down to Kentucky and go to Claudia Sanders Dinner House.
It probably is the original recipes.
Well, they ended up selling it, so I'm curious, but it would definitely be
It would be closer.
A million times closer.
I'm sure they have the crackling gravy and all that stuff.
My dad took us 2 years ago to Kentucky for our Christmas present. He does experiences and he took all the boys out to a horse track and he bought us lunch there. And it was like, oh my God, the lunch at this place, it was like chicken fried steak.
You sent us pictures of it. It was so much food.
It was so much food. It was like chicken fried steak, homemade potatoes, crackling gravy, biscuit, cobbler, a drink. It was like $8.50 a person. He bought lunch for all of us, and the total was $60.
Oh,
and it was literally, that's where finger licking good came. I could have licked that plate. Everything was so good.
You have to go to try to see
I
if you
gotta
could
go
to
to Claudia Sanders Dinner House. The Colonel, he just ends up working hard for the rest of his life. On December 16th, 1980, after a relatively short fight with leukemia, he passes away.
Aww.
And then the rest of the story is kind of just big business and boring facts and numbers. Kentucky Fried Chicken passes hands from the alcohol company to R.J. Reynolds, which is a tobacco company, another thing that his mom hated, to PepsiCo, which became Yum Brands, which is what it now is, which owns Taco. It's
he would want it to be sold to a swearing company.
Custer's Incorporated bought it for a short time. Goddamn chicken. By 1982, sales are at $2.4 billion. And now, like I said in the opening, they're up to $31 billion. It is, in 1986, they did open a $23 million, 2 million square foot space called the Colonel Sanders Technical Center, where they try recipes. That is something that I've always been a little interested in. Okay. All these fast food places have these test kitchens
Yes.
where they spend like, it took us 2 years to come out with this Caesar salad cup. It's like it did, but I kind of am fascinated by that. And all the testing, or being one of the people that would go there to like give my opinion on it.
Yeah, we got opinions. Get
We
us
gotta
in
do
there.
that.
That's great.
One of their biggest hazingas, in my opinion, I mentioned it earlier, February 1991, they changed the name to KFC because the world was all about like fried food is bad. Everyone was on low-fat diets. They wanted to get rid of the word fried.
Yeah.
So they called it KFC. I believe I've heard they are trying to bring back Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everything that's old is new again.
Sure.
Burger King is doing that. I don't know if you've seen their rebranding. It's all back to what it looked like in the 70s, which was...
Yeah, they're really retro. And I feel like Burger King, are they still like doing like BK, or is it still like Burger King? Everyone does that where they like shorten it to the initials and then they're like, no one knows what this is.
Yeah, it's so infuriating.
Just be Burger King.
All right, and so for this last part, I mentioned that they had they really went big internationally, especially in China and Japan. And I didn't realize what their presence was there. So in Japan in 1970, the first manager of a KFC, he overhears, and remember, Christmas is not anything in Japan. I mean, they're curious about Western traditions, but it's like 1% of the population is Christian, so they just don't have Christmas.
Sure.
It's just whatever there. But they're intrigued by what we do, and they will incorporate some traditions into that day, even though kids will now get a present, but then they still go to school. You know what I mean? So it's just a little bit different. So this guy, one of the first managers of a KFC in Japan, he overhears some Westerners who are visiting complaining that they couldn't find a turkey to celebrate Christmas. And he was like, what's kind of close to a turkey is a chicken. So he figures that maybe he like goes to them and is like, hey, you know what? I have chicken. Why don't you have that for Christmas? And then he kind of has his like aha moment, and he starts promoting KFC as what America chooses for Christmas, that everyone in America eats Kentucky Fried Chicken for Christmas. He creates what he calls a party barrel. It is a bucket of chicken. It comes with sides. It comes with a cake. It comes with wine and a decorative plate. And it may not have had a plate in the beginning, but that's what it's evolved to now. And the Japanese at this time didn't know much about the holiday, so they just kind of took whatever they heard as truth.
They're like, oh yeah, this American tradition. We're going to kind of do a little fun thing tonight and have an American Christmas.
Yes.
That's so funny.
He gives it a name. It's called Kurisumasu Niwa Kentucky, which stands for Kentucky for Christmas, and it becomes a national annual event. That
is so funny.
If you go there now at Christmas time, so people now order months in advance this party bucket of chicken, because if they wait till Christmas, there are lines going down KFCs. Outside of every KFC is a Colonel Sanders statue dressed as Father Christmas. He has a Santa hat on. He's got the red coat on. Like, look it up. Google it.
Nobody told them, like, it's not true.
Now, I did see an article of a guy talking about it. He had done this. His parents had done it. It was like, when you're a kid, like your parents get fast food. It's like, oh my God, it's such a treat. Like back in the day, like Little Caesars, it was always pizza. You would get two pizzas, and it came on this long board. So Dad would come home. It was like he was carrying like a door into the house that had two pizzas on it, or a bucket of chicken or whatever. It's very special. And that's what it was for all these kids back in the 70s. And now they're like adults. And one of them was like, when I became an adult, I did learn that they don't do this in America. He was like, I was kind of shook. Like, he's like, this is just like, it's like finding out if there's not.
It could be one of those things that like becomes a tradition in America because it is a good idea. Like, you're overwhelmed from the holidays. You're kind of burnt out. You've been busy running around for 2 weeks. Like, yeah, get KFC for Christmas dinner. That's a great idea. It's like something that could go from lore to then like mistaken lore to then actuality.
Yeah, and now it's one of those things where I don't know what the exact number is, but like 5% of all their sales for the year happen within that day.
That is
and
so
like
funny.
Everybody just loves it.
Okay, well, it's a
and
good
not
idea.
everyone. I'm sure someone would be like, I was in Japan and we hate it. But I'm sure, I have a feeling it's one of those things that's a little divided, and over here we probably are like, they all do it. They love us. But
that's fun.
But it ended up, this guy, because he did that and it was because it was so popular, he ends up becoming the president of KFC in Japan for like 20 years. And
that makes
he had
sense.
a great life. So I just thought it was interesting. I had no idea that KFC had any connection to Christmas at all. And when I was looking for a Christmas brand, it felt weird because this is coming out the day after Christmas. And when I saw this, I was like, this is kind of perfect because it's like, this is not a Christmas episode, but we're still, in that one of my favorite weeks, the week between Christmas and New Year. Is there anything worse? I was just talking about this at a party than January 2nd.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like that. You can do anything from like kind of the week before Christmas to New Year's Day. You can watch TV. You don't have to get dressed. You can do anything. But January
Drink
2nd,
your gravy in bed.
drink your gravy in bed.
Yeah, because there's nothing to do to prepare for a holiday. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just a weird dead week. New Year's Day doesn't start to me on January 1st. It starts on that Monday after the holiday.
Yeah, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have to get back into life. What are my ambitions? What are the goals for the year? Whatever.
Yeah, what a special time.
I do have a couple of fun facts, and then we're done with this episode. I did not go into this story at all, but back in the day when Colonel Sanders had his gas station, he had a pet crow. And there's a picture of him with like the crow on his shoulder.
Oh my God.
And apparently the crow would do this whole thing. Who knows? This feels like it's probably folklore, but patrons would throw like a penny down on the ground and the crow would go grab it and disappear with it. Nobody ever knew what happened with the pennies. And then the colonel said at one point he was renovating the house and he like had to rip down like the staircase and like a million pennies fell out. And he was like, it was like I was in Vegas. So this crow had been hiding pennies in the house forever.
That is so cute.
Who knows if it's true, but I love the idea
We love
of
a
it.
crow story.
You probably know this. This is quite famous. If you go to the KFC Twitter account, do you know this fun fact?
No.
They only follow 11 people.
Oh.
Everyone named either Herb and the Spice Girls.
That's
so it's
fun.
all 11 Herbs and Spices.
That's cute.
That's been around forever. I think that's really cute.
That's really cute.
And then they've also kind of just hit pop culture. They sell like a fire log that makes your house smell like fried chicken. There's Crocs with the fried chicken giblets. And
giblets.
Whatever they're called. Giblets.
Well, it would be giblets for a chicken.
Exactly. And I don't know if you remember, I went to a pop-up event. KFC had a pop-up event a few years ago where they were selling or giving out boxes of hot donuts and chicken tenders.
Yes.
It was so
like the donut was the bread on the sandwich? Was it like that?
No, it was like just a hot, like glazed,
Oh.
like Krispy Kreme
Okay.
donut and then a tender, but you ate them together. Holy crap, it was so
Wow.
good. And that's it. That's KFC. So now that you know everything, you know the story, you know the mother profanity-laden, iconic man who is the Colonel Harland Sanders. Is it on brand or off brand for you? I know it's on brand.
I mean, it's just so sad to think that this like man was abused by these lawyers and robbed of his riches. I hope he had some semblance of a life in his final days.
I think he still did. He wasn't like poverty. I mean, he just
good.
wasn't like.
I want him to have gates in front of his like estate that look like when they're closed, it's like a bucket of chicken in the middle.
Yeah.
That's what I want for him.
Yeah.
So that part
too.
makes me really sad. If I'm just connecting to my nostalgia, my love of the branding, my nostalgic warm fuzzy memories of the food, yes, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken is on brand for me.
Yeah, and I think for me, like outside of the big picture, I don't love what KFC is now. I mean, I do still crave it. It's one of those weird things. I will crave it. I got it last week.
What'd you get?
They do a $10 bucket on Tuesdays. You get 8 thighs, 8 wings. I never get through all of them.
How much did you get through?
Over 2
8
days.
thighs, 8 wings. That's
8
like
thighs, 8
4
legs, sorry.
chickens.
8 thighs, 4 8. No, I'm sorry. 4 thighs, 4 legs.
Okay.
8 pieces.
Okay, that's 2 chickens.
2 chickens. And I eat 2 pieces, and then it usually kind of like
It gets a little soggy.
Yeah. That wasn't even what I was going to say. Oh,
It's on brand for you.
it's on brand for me for reasons outside of the food.
Sure.
I love a story that shows you that it's never too late to do something you want to
course.
do. Like literally, if we may only have one time going around doing whatever we want to do. If you want to do something, just do it.
Join the army. Who cares if you don't
Join
have
the
pubes?
army. It doesn't matter if you have pubes. Like,
If I walk into a party and I see that there's a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken on the table, even if I won't eat it because I never really liked like meat off the bone, that will make me smile to see it because of what it represents, the story, the history. It's just important. It's important.
If I went to a party and I saw a bucket of KFC, I would go out to my car and get one of my Ziploc bags that I keep in the trunk, and I would probably take 4 pieces when no one's looking. I would hide them in the kitchen of the person having the party, sneak them into my bag before I left, and put them in my fridge, and eat them the next day.
You've done this before.
I've done that before. So there you go.
Wow.
So that's the show. I can't do shout outs for the Insta Egg because we're recording this in advance and the Insta Egg hasn't happened yet. But we do want to give a shout out to our very dear friend,
Oh,
Shep.
our friend Shep, he sent me a message that he stopped by on the porch with some Christmas gifts for us, thanking us for a year of laughs. So I already opened mine. It's a little Coca-Cola hand-blown glass ornament. I don't know if yours are the same. And for the Apple podcast reviews, this episode, I'm just going to give a shout out. Merry Christmas. Yesterday was last day of Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, we're celebrating you. Thank you for a fantastic year of listening to the pod. We have had such a fun time doing the show. This is like the highlight of our week. We love chatting with you guys, engaging with you guys. And it's just it's a pleasure. It's my favorite hobby.
It is definitely my favorite hobby. It has been such a fun year, growing and having so many new people listen to us from various places, especially the Doughboys. I want to give a big thanks to them for having us on their show and helping us grow our little pod. I love chatting with everybody when they guess the egg or when they just show us something that we think we would like or that we've already done an episode on. It's so fun. And next week is going to be, so we've done, I think like this is our 83rd episode. Next week is going to be, just because we're going into town and our schedule has been a little crazy, our first episode that's a little bit different. We're not doing a brand next week. We're just going to, it'll be probably more in the vein of what our Patreon may turn into. We're just going to have a conversation, maybe answer some freak questions. So we're just going to give that a try because we want to put something out on that day.
But Lord, we're tired.
But Lord, we're tired, and we're going to get something out, and then we'll be back the week after that with a regular episode.
Perfect.
So just remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Bye.